Hi, and welcome to Season 2 of This is Gravel.
Can you download Season 1 on Netflix?
It would be so cool if you could do like the whole thing. Yes, that would be awesome. I would totally watch that.
That's producer Matt's job. So,
Matt, can we get that going? LeLan Danes, Bobby Thompson, casual cyclist. We're back again. What's it been? December-ish?
yeah, you read us a wonderful Christmas story.
I did. I want to do that again.
If you haven't seen that one, click this link here that producer Matt's going to put on the screen. I think he can do that. I don't know.
I will try to write some more children's fairy tales for y'all. I promise. Coming up this season. I'm on top of it.
And I need more reasons to put on my adult onesie. So.
You know what? I think the funny thing is I've already asked you what's been going on. I think that you have been doing the same thing as the last time I asked you what's been going on, though. You've got the house project still going on.
Goodness.
And it has stopped you from getting out and doing a lot of things on the bike. Is that correct?
Well, it's been a big reason. But truth be told, we're coming down the home stretch, and now we're just flat procrastinating. So got a little bit of tile backsplash in the kitchen and a little bit of trim, and then I'm done. And so I think I'm learning with these projects, the closer you get to the end, the slower it takes because you're just done with it.
Right.
Plus, the house has become more livable now, so we can actually lounge around and live in it instead of have to work on it.
And I think that's going to lead you right into the DK season. I mean, this isn't a DK only show, but that's going to be your primary focus for the next few months. I mean, you're getting close to training camp.
So we've got a busy spring at Dirty Kansas Promotions with registration behind us, and that all filled up. We've got Dirty Kansas Training Camp, which we have 42 athletes coming to, which is a very big camp, very successful. And we'll be going over across the pond for Dirty Reaver. And then we've got Dirty Kansas, and there's all kinds of events to prepare for these types of things throughout the spring. So we'll be talking about those different events in these first few episodes.
Nice.
But what have you been doing?
I was waiting for you to lead in to ask me what I wanted to do. I've been riding my bike almost every day, on the trainer and off the trainer, probably too much on the trainer, but my feet get cold. And so I've been running inside a lot more. I've been Zwifting a lot more. We'll talk a little bit here later in the show about me on the trainer and stuff. And I'm ready to ride outside. We got Land Run coming up next month. We got a little Century barbecue rib ride coming up here in just a couple weeks.
For those that don't know, seek out this event on Facebook because Guy and Mays is not just any rib joint. This is a Kansas landmark and a bucket list destination.
Williamsburg, Kansas.
And so Bobby will be leading a group of folks out there to 40 miles from Emporia to Williamsburg, have some ribs, and then ride on back. So definitely join up for that.
So that's what's been going on.
Yes, that's what's really going on.
A lot of eating, a lot of riding, and a lot of having fun with friends. But it is time to get started on a new season.
Yes.
We have the lead into any typical gravel season, whether you think you're doing it or not, or want to admit it you're doing it or not, is you got to have some kind of a goal to get through the season. And that goal can just be to casually ride with friends, ride once a week, but you got to have a goal coming into the season.
Yeah.
And you're going to talk a little bit?
Yes. So some people shoot from the hip, and they just say, you know what, I'm going to sign up for Dirty Kansas, and it'll be fine, right? That's one approach. It's certainly not the preferred one. When you're setting up a goal, there are some things to think about. Producer Matt and I sat down and discussed some of those things, so let's hear about it now.
Boom.
Howdy folks, LeLan Danes here with Dirty Kansas Promotions, and it is that time of the year to be talking about your goals. Hopefully with the coming of the new year, you've spent a little time thinking about what you'd like to achieve in 2017, and we wanted to take just a couple minutes to give you some tips on proper goal setting. First and foremost, you should be inspired. Set a goal that excites you, and that seems like a no-brainer, but you definitely want to pick something out there, whether it be a goal event or just a goal distance to go ride or whatever the case may be. Make sure that it motivates you and it's something that you really want to achieve. Number 2, your goals should be specific and measurable. Don't put something out there that's arbitrary and really can't be measured. If your goal is to ride the Dirty Kansas 200, that is something you can quantify. And so make sure that you set specific goals that you can actually go out and achieve. Number 3, have a deadline. If you're out there and you pick up cycling just to lose weight and you want to shed 10 pounds, that's fantastic. But put a deadline, put a time parameter on your goal so that you know what time frame you're trying to work and achieve that. Number 4, your goal should be attainable. Now this one's tough because you do need to challenge yourself. Your goal should present a worthy challenge, something like I said that gets you excited and will push you. But what you don't want to do is set a goal so high and so difficult that you run the risk of injuring yourself. A little bit of failure is not the problem sometimes, but you don't want to push into the realm of doing damage to yourself physically or psychologically. And then finally, be flexible. You might set out with a goal like to finish the Dirty Kansas 200, but maybe you don't get in, or maybe life changes direction on you and something comes up and you can't make it. Be willing to shift that focus and find a new goal on the fly that is similar in scope of what you were trying to do. But whatever the case may be, you may set out with something in mind and that for whatever reason just gets changed along the way, and be prepared for that. So be inspired, be specific, and make sure it's measurable. Have a deadline for yourself. Make sure it's attainable and something you can reach, and be prepared to be flexible.
Oh, great advice if I do say so myself. And I do say so myself.
Way to lead yourself out of your own clip. I like that. Good job.
But the number one point there, Bobby, was to pick a goal that inspires you. So what's got you inspired for 2017?
And not to be a local fanatic or whatever, but what got me inspired to ride bikes in the first place 5 years ago was watching people accomplish or fail the Dirty Kansas race here locally. Because it is my local town, and it's friends and family that are out there struggling and persevering through the challenges. So this year, I thought I was going to try to attempt to race the Sun last year. And I guess you can always say you attempted.
Well, sure.
But I didn't know really what it entailed. So this year, I have been solely focused on a goal of on June 3rd, racing the Sun and beating the Sun this year. It is more of a personal goal, I'll admit. But it's something that I'm working towards and fighting towards this year. So obviously the goal is to finish.
Yeah.
But I'd love to race the Sun this year.
Well, one thing we didn't really talk about is how those goals may change over the time. And Bobby's a guy as the casual cyclist who 5 years ago the goal was just to enter Dirty Kansas and maybe finish it. Now here he is wanting to race the Sun. So your goals will certainly evolve, and it's cool to have events like Dirty Kansas that provide you a platform to go from just finishing to something like racing the Sun. So
yeah, definitely.
Cool.
And a lot more events are starting to do that, where they have a step-up type thing. And I think that's great for all those communities that have those events. Yeah. So your goals this year?
Yes. My goals are a little bit less of my accomplishments on two wheels. And for those that don't know, I have been coaching for Dirty Kansas for over the last year. And so I definitely want to see some of my athletes achieve their goals, like Bobby, racing the Sun. But that's a big reward for me these days. But we are going across the pond, and of course, taking my bike over to Dirty Reaver. Even though I'll be helping lead that trip, I would like to ride in that event as well. And so just taking part in that. And then my fall goal is the Salsa Ride Camp. And while this is not a race in of itself, my goal is simply to free up my schedule enough so I can go. And for those of you that aren't familiar, visit Salsa's website and check this weekend out, because it is just a fantastic time of riding bikes, camping, eating food, drinking beverage, and hanging out with amazing people.
And maybe that's what we'll want to follow up real quick with. You can have race-specific goals, but sometimes your goal is just getting out on the bike and just enjoying the season, enjoying some time with friends. Bike packing would be something that this year I hope to kind of inch my way into with friends. So absolutely.
Judge your goals by the season of the year and the seasons of your life. Right, Bobby?
Nice. I like that. Look at you talking. So one of the ways to help get started on those goals this year that we've talked about quite a bit is it's cold outside, and you can wait till March or April or May to get going on the goals, but usually by then it's usually too late if you have an early season race. So the trainer is a great avenue to go down. Now, a lot of my friends will say they'll never ride on a trainer ever, but sometimes it's necessary. Agreed?
Absolutely. Highly encourage it, especially if your goals are to finish a tough event or race the sun or something of that nature, because you will need that time. You need that preparation, and it begins now.
So, producer Matt asked me to go through how I have used a trainer in the last couple of months to get started on my goals this year. So, we'll talk a little bit about that. LeLan talked to us earlier about training for your goals in 2017. It is the winter time right now. I have a hard time getting off the couch and getting outside in the cold weather. So for me, I prefer to go the trainer route. I usually am on the trainer probably 3 or 4 days a week. If it dips below 40, I hop on the trainer. What I prefer to use is the Road Machine by Kinetic. It is a smart trainer. It does give you power and cadence so that you can better monitor your workouts. You can build your workouts towards future goals. It does work with apps like Zwift, and Trainer Road would be a couple. What I use is Zwift, so we'll talk about that in a minute. It is a fluid trainer, so it is quieter than a mag trainer. It does have a higher price point entry, but we won't get too much into trainer comparisons on this. This is just kind of what I do to get through the winter months. I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends prefer to have a bike set up full time on the trainer. They set it up with slicks and they set it up with more trainer specific tires. I like to ride on the bike that I'm going to be riding on full time during the season. It helps me to make slight adjustments to the bike, and I do go with the tires that I normally ride on the winter. 2 reasons. One, because I'm lazy. I'm not able to have an extra wheel set just to switch them in and out. But 2, I really only change my tires once a year, and by this point every year my tire is pretty well slick anyway. I will make a change with brand new tires. Trainer season's over, right before Land Run 100, which is in March, I'll put on new tires, but that's really why I don't go with the slick tires myself. So personally, I think there's a lot of pros to running a trainer during the winter, other than just being lazy and not being able to get out in the cold weather. I do think that it gives you a better understanding of your bike, gives you a better understanding of the shifting of your gears, how your cadence is affected by those shifting. Just more confidence when you're getting out there on the hills. You can know what cadence that you feel comfortable maintaining. You can maintain that cadence longer when you're trying to climb a hill. Using your gears rather than your legs to help get you up the hill and saving some energy for later. Also helping keeping your heart rate under control, and your breathing. Breathing's the biggest thing, as we all know, for climbing. I really think that spinning, whether at home in your basement or wherever, to get used to that cadence and that effect is very beneficial to you. As a new rider, being on the trainer a couple days a week is really going to help you get the bike fit down also. I think it's very beneficial, especially for a long season ahead of you. It's going to help you nail down your cleat position on the pedals, your shoes, the seat position, how far you're going to lean forward with the stem. We tend to take bike fit for granted, and I know a couple years ago that was one of my biggest issues. Being on the trainer every day helped me make those little minute adjustments and had a better season because of it. Last but not least, one of the greatest reasons to be on the trainer is I have a family. We all have, I have kids, I have 2 beautiful daughters, a wonderful wife. They don't always like me being out for hours at a time, so this lets me get a quick interval workout in within an hour rather than being out 3 or 4 or 5 hours on the weekend. So it does help with home life as well. So whether you work with a coach or you work with one of the apps out there, the trainer's a great tool during the winter. I also use Zwift. I know Trainer Road is very, very popular. I haven't used that one yet. On Zwift, the great thing about it is whether you can hop on there, you can ride alone, or you can join some of the group rides. They actually have races now, mass sprints that are on Zwift. You can even ride through a volcano right now and chase the lava. So it's really good for a quick interval workout, especially hour and a half. Great to use Zwift in the basement. So hope it's helped out. Trainers have helped me out a lot. They really helped me improve as a rider. They helped me get away from mashing and do more of a spin-based, cadence-based ride, which has really helped me out through the season. So enjoy.
It's time for Q&A.
We need a special effects budget.
I know. And maybe an actual theme song.
Oh, that's can we get a theme song for Q&A?
That's a great challenge for someone. Record your Q&A theme song for us.
Okay, sorry.
That's enough of that.
No? Q&A. Q&A.
Your questions, our answers. Compliments of Gravel Guru. Bobby, number one, what is your main bike for 2017?
My main bike?
Yeah.
Like the bike I ride?
Man, first world problems. You got multiple bikes and you got to pick your main one.
Well, I mean, gravel racing is what I love to do, so gravel race bike is my main bike.
And what is that?
That's my Salsa Carbon Whirlboard. So, very excited to ride it this season. I love that bike.
There you go.
It
the
just fits
Salsa
me
Warbird.
well. So, yes. What about you?
It'll be a toss-up, but I'm going to lean towards the Bear Grease this year. I think I'm going to put more time on the Bear Grease, especially because I'm putting a loft fork on there, adding 60 mil of travel, and putting on a new wheel set to go down to 27.5 plus instead of the 4-inch fat tires. So
nice.
Looking forward to playing on the Bear Grease this year.
I, too, equipped with the loft fork this year, and I'm very excited to bomb some hills out there in the Flint Hills with that, especially during the Dirty Kansas. A long event like that.
That sounds like a segment in the future.
Boom.
Suspension.
They'll be talked about in the future, absolutely. When traveling to events, how do you keep loose and ready to ride? All right. I'm guessing there's two different ways here. I mean, there's the shorter travels at 3 or 4 hours, but then there's things like RPI, where we're 20 miles in the 20 hours on the road.
Well, there's a couple things you can do. On a short trip, you can stay limber. I have literally seen with my travel companion, Russ Folger. For those of you astute to the gravel scene, you may remember Russ as the 2012 co-champion of Dirty Kansas. He and Dan Hughes came in together. Fantastic cyclist, fantastic competitor, but he would do full-on yoga in the passenger seat. It was quite impressive. And he'd keep himself stretched and limber. That's a skill of itself. One thing you can do is, if you have the ability to allow for more travel time, plan in some little stops. Just 30 to 45 minutes on your bike can go a long way to keeping you fresh. And that means you don't have to get kitted out. You don't even have to put your shoes on. Just plot out somewhere along the route that you can stop, get on your bike and spin around, even if that means going 1 or 2 miles off the interstate or highway if that's your main route, but try to loosen up in that way. The other thing you can do is simply get out and do some stretches and squats at the gas station or something just to keep the legs stretched out and limber.
I'm absolutely horrible at this. My stretching and keeping loose on a ride is walking into the gas station, grabbing a Snickers bar, and walking back to the car. So I'll take your advice.
Well, very good. What tires are you using now? And are you set up tubeless or not? So your main bike is the Warbirds. What are you running on there?
Right now I'm running the Terraville Cannonballs.
Great choice.
One of many great choices, yeah. But I have been happy with them. And yes, obviously, definitely 100% set up tubeless. No going back. So unless I'm lazy and have a flat and I put a tube in it, and then the tube will probably stay there until the next time I have a flat. So. You?
Yeah. Well, with the Bear Grease, I mentioned to go into 27.5 plus, and I've already got the wheel set built, set up tubeless with some Maxxis Icons. Fantastic tire choice. Whether you're riding 29 or 27.5 plus, I think it comes in a few different varieties. The Icon is a staple of the mountain bike world.
Yep. I had a couple of friends run Maxxis on Cutthroats now.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely.
What's most important for your support crew to remember?
The most important thing. Okay. If I have to single one thing out, I'm going to go emotional here. Keep in mind, as some folks, when they're under duress, stress, they're hurting, they're tired. I'm talking about the cyclist here. They might get a little bit upset. And sometimes they might yell at you, poor support crew who are out there just simply trying to help them. Just understand that they're going through a lot of emotions. Try not to get too upset, because as a former crew chief for a Race Across America team, I've heard stories of crews literally leaving their cyclists and simply driving away from them. And they had no support for the rest of their... Now, I think they ended up having to abandon the ride, but the point being is, if you're a cyclist, don't upset your support crew. And if you're a support crew, keep in mind that even if they're short and a little blunt, it's simply because they're fried and they're exhausted. So.
Yeah, I would say on this one, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to some support crews going on the road. I know my wife would love to be interviewed.
For that coming soon.
Carrie is definitely seasoned at being a support crew now after 5 DKs. I mean, and she knows that when I come in to the support area, there is no talk about quitting. There is no talk about how tired you are. It's just, let's get you back out. Because if that conversation is opened up, then you never know where that conversation is going to go.
Yeah.
And a couple of years ago, that conversation allowed me to sit down and be done for the day, and I've never felt worse afterwards.
I think as a cyclist, you're wanting to hear those words, aren't you? You're
Yes.
wanting someone to say, it's okay, just sit down
yes.
and quit. And so it is, as a support crew, probably the worst thing you could say.
Right. Now, from a maintenance perspective, the number one thing you can do for your rider, number one thing, check his drivetrain.
Lube that chain.
There is nothing worse than rolling out of a sport area and you have 100 miles left and your chain sounds like fingers on a chalkboard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because everybody forgot, you forgot, and here you got another 50 miles of listening to that. So, okay.
Excellent. My turn?
Your turn, last one.
Number 5. Have you ever caught yourself singing on the bike? And if you do sing on the bike, what song do you sing?
I sing Christmas carols, and I have, Jeff hates me singing Christmas carols, my friend Jeff. Jeff will literally ride away from me as soon as I start singing the Christmas carols and leave me in the dust to fend for myself. I like singing Christmas carols. They're easy to remember. I've been singing them since I was a kid, and I can blast them out. So.
Oh, lovely, lovely. I typically sing when I'm riding with my wife because she is a singer, and her favorite song is Rhinestone Cowgirl, and so I change it to Limestone Cowboy in the same tune.
Limestone Cowboy?
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. It's not like a duet or anything, is it? I mean, you guys aren't in sync and everything, are you?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Seriously.
Yeah, and some of you, the brothers O'Mara, Bobby Wintle, have even been privy to me filming this singing and texting it out while we were riding Land Run.
Have you ever thought about riding harder?
Well, that didn't cross my mind. I was singing.
That's perfect.
So that's it for Q&A. We always appreciate it. Send in your questions. We want to know what you're thinking about, and we always want to try to address the burning questions you have. So send those in. Gravel Guru Facebook page, Casual Cyclists, send them to Dirty Kansas. You can reach producer Matt, Bobby, or myself through any of those avenues.
Hey guys, speaking of social media, let's take a look at what our viewers sent in this week. Arturo was down enjoying the Teapot Mound Challenge right here in the Flint Hills of Kansas, out grinding the gravel. Alan was doing the Latuna Canyon climb out in California. Gorgeous sunrise there going on. Brian Hibbs was enjoying the Coos Wildlife Area down in Alabama. Vinny was at the Sam Houston National Forest down in Texas. Lynn was at the Texas Chain Ring Massacre going on down in Texas. Looked like quite the event with a lot of people down there for that. Jennifer was riding in the snow-covered trails of southern Ontario, Canada. That looks quite chilly up there. Peter was also out in Ontario riding on the snow. No excuses to not be out riding if they're out enjoying that this weekend. Jonathan was at the Rocheport-Roubaix over in Missouri. Looked like quite a few people over there for a 70-mile ride this weekend. Jerry Jones was at the Buffalo Headwaters Challenge over in Arkansas. As always, join in on the conversation through our social media online and get your photo featured here on Gravel Guru.
We're back. You thought we were gone, but we're still here. So thanks for sharing those photos. Definitely keep sending that content to us. Producer Matt's always asking where you're riding, where you've been, and we love to see that, and we'll try to get that stuff up. So Gravel Guru Facebook page is the best place for that. Follow along, ask your questions, share your content. We love hearing from you. Now for real.
Bye.